Hello, my name is Mrs. Jones, and we are doing practice worksheets for grade 7th and 8th math at West Palm Beach Junior Academy. Here we will be dealing with one-step equations. And our one-step equations, we will be dealing with integers. And the Jones way is to ask a question. And that question is, whose house is it? When we're looking at isolating a variable, we want to know whose house is it. And based on the variable puts everyone out of his house in order to be alone or to be isolated. Therefore, we can determine its value. So let's take a look. I will be doing even numbers while you do odd numbers at home. Number two, rather, I'm doing even. All right, question 2. The problem reads 8y equals 48. Oh, by the way, this is our worksheet level 1, S1 in your packet, okay? Back to the problem. 8y equals 48. So the question is, whose house is it? The answer is that it is y's house. So since it is y's house, we ask, who is in y's house? We discover that there is an 8 in y's house. Once we discover there's an 8 in y's house, then the question goes to why is 8 in y's house, or what is 8 trying to do in y's house? In this case, 8 is trying to, or desires to be multiplied to y. All right, and so then we do the inverse to that. The inverse to 8 being multiplied in y's house. In order for y to put 8 out, the inverse to being multiplied would be division, to divide. So we would divide both sides by 8. Therefore, that would isolate y. So y would be equal to 48 divided by 8, which would give us the value of 6. Okay, let's look at number 4. Number 4, we have 18 equals to a divided by 2. The question, whose house? It is a's house. Okay, here it is right here, a, the variable a. So the question is, who's in a's house? And the answer is 2. 2 is in a's house. And what is 2 doing in a's house? 2 is being divided in a's house. So then we would do the inverse of division, and therefore we will multiply by 2 to both sides, remembering that what you do to one side, you must do to the other side of your equation or your equal sign. And therefore here you have 2. 2 times 18 will give you a 36, which will be equal to a. Okay, next question is number 6. Number 6 says 11 equals m minus 4. Okay, therefore, whose house is it? It's m's house. Who's in m's house? A negative 4 is in m's house. What is the negative 4 doing? It is subtracted in m's house. The inverse of being subtracted in m's house is to be added. So we would do the inverse. We would add 4 to this side. We would add 4 to this side. And then 15 would be equal to m. Moving on to number 8. Number 8 reads 1 plus s equals 3. Question, whose house is it? It is s house. Who's in s house? 1 is in s house. What is 1 trying to do? There is no indication, so therefore it is positive addition. The inverse of being added into on this side of the equal side, the inverse would be to be subtracted. So therefore, we would subtract 1 from this side, subtract 1 from this side, and s will be equal to 2. Lastly, let me write that in. There we go. All right, that way you can see it better, okay? All right, lastly, we have 10. V divided by 5 is equal to 9. Therefore, whose house is it? It is V's house. Who's in V's house? 5 is in V's house. And what is 5 trying to do? Trying to be divided. So we would do the inverse, and which would be to multiply 5 out of V's house. So therefore, we would times 5 this side, times 5 over here, and then therefore we'll be isolated with V, and then 9 times 5 will be 45. Okay? Now, those are the even numbers to the practice sheet. You are asked to do the odd numbers and return with them on tomorrow's class. Thank you.